So each of these hill tribes, indigenous people groups, they have distinct cultures. They still have traditional language, dress, dance, music, some foods.
Mm.
Um, and you contrast or compare that with the homogeneous blob you just called it.
Mm.
You know, what is the point in maintaining this uniqueness, and do you think it can be done?
How are we ever going to reflect upon ourselves if we don't take a moment's pause to take a look at who we are, who we really are? I mean, where we really come from. It's not the city. We're not machines, we're not robots, but we're turning into that. We're becoming mechanized. Mechanized, is that? Yeah. We're becoming mechanized by, in proportion with the global market system. So we're becoming like robots, and we're all aware of it. We don't like it, but yet we still continue to put gas in this machine that grinds about every day from sunrise to sunset, and continue to perpetuate the very environment that we dislike and inherently know is not us. That to me is just madness.
Do you think it's easier to actually see ourselves when we look at the way they live here? And is it because their way of life is what we could call more simple, or that the contrasts are bigger?
I mean, I don't know that their lives are more simple, but looking at it from a sociological perspective, you're seeing the very things happen here that you see in the West that are materialism related. When you have competition, when you have that market system that is driving people, the root elements of people's behavior, you wonder why you get things like social stratification, why you get conflict, why you get drugs and other social issues, why you get these things. The root of that, I think it's because people are disconnected from what they inherently need. And that is a connection with our natural environment. It's a connection with each other. It's a connection. It's to feel a wholeness and a connection to the world in which we live. And I hope that this project has value in that sense. In the very least, being able to appreciate ourselves. 30 years ago, there was someone who came from Germany, if I remember right, and they video recorded this community doing different cultural activities. And then later at this research institute or whatever it was, they were throwing away all that film and like just tossing it in the trash. It was like 8mm film or something. And then they pulled it out of the trash and looked at it and saw, and then they came back to that community and showed that film to the community as in a public forum, so to speak. And what the anthropologist there, whom I learned a lot from, told me was that people were crying and just really, really emotionally impacted because the girls in that village and the other young children, but she mentioned the girls who were dancing were just blown away, not only because they saw themselves when they were children, but they also were completely flabbergasted by how much their community had changed, not only physically, but also with the ethnic traditions and the way that they interacted with one another. So in that 25 or 30 year period of time, all that transformation gradually happened to them, and they weren't realizing what they were losing during that time. And I think that is a really, really powerful lesson that I chose to heed. So, with this work, I would hope that it could potentially have that same impact.
So if somebody's listened to all your words and they're starting to look at the pictures and the voices and to understand, how can people participate or start to contribute to this project? What would you like to see happen from the outside world?
I guess an objective here we would like to do is to turn this into a format that is shareable and useful. I mean, right now it's in a book format that is 4 years of research put into 300 pages, and it's too much to consume in one sitting. I mean, I haven't even really completely digested all of this material yet, but if we can put it into a format like that example, and film and bring it into these communities later, and let them see themselves before the social degradation fully sets in. And maybe it's too late, I don't know.
What do you need from the outside world to do more? What do you want to do, and how do we help?
Ideally, I would love to see, envision, or dream for the voices of these communities, the people that are in these different age ranges, the people that are in these different situations, to serve as a representative voice that can be communicated around the world to other places that are seeing and experiencing the same thing. This isn't a unique phenomenon here. This is happening all over the world. It's a context.
So you want to inspire other communities?
I would.
Reflection, pausing.
It would be great if people from different aspects of this same market-driven phenomenon could utilize this material to start their own discussions that are in context with their own issues. And I think that it doesn't matter whether it's in Thailand or Guatemala or somewhere in the African Sahara. I think that this is relevant everywhere. It's the human condition. This is really about the human condition. And I think another element of that is to be able to see people in one context, in one cultural environment, in one part of the world. If we can take a look at the similarities that we all share, we break down all of these borders, all of these different ways that we divide one another through appearance, through everything. It just obliterates all of that, and hopefully has the power to allow us to percolate down to who are we as human beings.